Hello, thank you for being here. I've been in Bend for a few days now, and Bend, Oregon is one of my favorite places to buy books because there's so many local independent bookstores to buy from. If you're ever in Bend, my absolute all-time favorite is Big Story Bookstore because they have, I personally think, the best selection of used books for good prices. So most of what I have for this book haul is from Big Story. My other favorite is Roundabout Books, but not really because of their books. I love their coffee shop. I love their coffee shop, but I didn't get anything from, like, book-wise from them. I also really love the Underground Book Gallery, which is in downtown Bend. Dudley's Bookstore is another great option. They have the best hot chocolate in the whole world, hands down. Like, I go in there just for the hot chocolate, not even always for the books. They have a selection of used and new, but it's mostly new, so I don't really buy books from there a lot. There's also Pegasus Books, which is like right next door to Dudley's in downtown Bend. Anyways, another one of my favorite parts about books in Bend is the little free libraries. Every time I'm here, I check them out, and I feel like there's always so many good things in there. Like last time I was here, I found basically a brand new David Sedaris book. And then I saw it at Barnes & Noble later, and it was like $25, and I got it for free. So I was like, yeah, bravo. Okay, the first thing I found in the little free libraries were a bunch of copies of The New Yorker, which I was kind of pumped about. These are all from April and March. I'm trying to cover the address that was on them, but yeah, so I got some New Yorkers from the little free libraries. Thank you, Bend, Oregon. Also, the other two things I got from little free libraries are these two books. I like little free libraries because it gives me more opportunity to find books that maybe I'd never heard of before that sound really interesting or look cool. So the first one is A Year in Province by Peter Mayle. This is the beautiful cover. I'll just read the back. In this witty and warm-hearted account, Peter Mayle tells what it is like to realize a long-cherished dream and actually move into a 200-year-old stone farmhouse in the remote country of Luberon with his wife and two large dogs. He endures January's frosty mistral as it comes howling down the Rhone Valley, discovers the secrets of goat racing through the middle of town, and delights in the glorious regional cuisine. A Year in Province transports us into all the earthly pleasures of provincial life and lets us live vicariously at a tempo governed by seasons, not by days. This sounded so interesting because I love winter #1, and when it was talking about January, I was like, yes! And I'm also trying to be better about living seasonally, which I'm a lot better about in autumn and winter than I am in spring and summer, because during spring and summer I always miss autumn and winter. But when it's autumn and winter, I'm like, let's go. This is my season to shine. So that was the first book. I just thought it sounded really cool, and I'd never heard of it before. The second one is called Gloria by Andres Felipe Solano. Very cool cover. Love it. This is a really long synopsis, so I'm just going to read the last little paragraph. A novel of mothers and sons spanning New York City, Columbia, Miami, Gloria is a sophisticated and daring excavation of a woman's life that asks us to consider how the choices we make in our youth reverberate throughout our possible futures. And it's based in the 70s, so I think it's just about kind of like young life, I guess, young womanhood. Yeah, I don't know, it just, like, again, I love little free libraries because you're always going to find something cool that maybe you haven't heard of before. Okay, so I have been wanting to watch the movie Sleepy Hollow for so long. I finally watched it last night after I'd purchased these two things. I felt in my heart that I was going to like it, so that's why I kind of jumped the gun with having bought these before actually seeing the movie. This I got at Big Story Bookstore. It's the cute little paperback, and it has photos in it from the movie. I was like, that is too cute. I love it. Yeah, and then I got this DVD. It has like one of those cool cover things. This is from Finders Keepers, also in Bend, Oregon, across the street from the Fred Meyer. That's definitely like a hidden gem. I don't think a lot of people really know about it. So yeah, I got the DVD. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I really loved it. It was fun. It was a fun watch last night. So I'm excited to get to read. And like, this is just the cutest little paperback. Yes. Okay. Next up. Listen. I have a hard time supporting Neil Gaiman. Gaiman, is that how you say his name? Gaiman, yeah. but I felt okay about this purchase because it's a used copy and I don't think any of the proceeds actually go to him. They go to the bookstore. So I bought a copy of Coraline, which, if you don't know, there's a lot of weird stuff out there about Neil Gaiman. You can Google search it and read for yourself. I'm not gonna go down the rabbit hole, but I feel a little icky supporting him sometimes. But Coraline is like, I know it's everyone's favorite, but it's was such a core part of my young adult life and like teenagerdom and childhood that I don't know. I've watched the movie so many times, but I'd never read the book, and I didn't want to buy it new because I didn't really want any of the proceeds to go to him. So I bought it used, and I'm excited to read it, and that is going to be all that I give into with Neil Gaiman. I really need to get more into Gabriel Garcia Marquez, and I think the thing that has held me back the most from reading his books is the length. I don't typically have a problem with length, but sometimes when it's dense, it's just hard for me to get through. So I found this book that I'd never heard of by him, and it's pretty thin. It's like less than 200 pages. It's 120 something pages. It's called Of Love and Other Demons, and it sounds very, very interesting. I love this cover. It's kind of in the same vein as his other books, which he writes a lot about, like, very atmospheric books that kind of blend magical realism. Well, I guess some of them are magical realism in very subtle ways, and he was kind of one of the first that, not the first, but one of the first to introduce magical realism into a time period that was very, like, historically chaotic. There was a lot going on when he first started writing, and he has a really fascinating past. So yeah, I really want to get more into his writing because I think he's just such a wonderful author, and I was like, this might be a great way to kind of jumpstart that a little more and not have to deal with a book that's super long, because classics that are long, I love them dearly, but sometimes they hurt. Sometimes they're painful. Okay. Next up, this cover is so ugly. Brett. Here's the gist with this book. I love Bret Easton Ellis. I've read 3 or 4 of his books now, not American Psycho. And my goal is to read all of his books and then read American Psycho last, like everything else that he's published, and save American Psycho for last. So one of the ones that I didn't have is Imperial Bedrooms, which, again, such an ugly cover. And honestly, when I read the back, it sounds like every other book that he's written. Literally, like, the same plot. Like, all of his stories have so much of the same plot. But like I said, I promised myself I was going to read all of his other books before American Psycho, so I have to keep my word with that to myself. So that's why I purchased this. This one, again, is also from Big Story Bookstore. Most of those are from Big Story. Allie Smith Spring. I actually got 2 Allie Smith books, but I have summer and autumn, and I didn't have spring and winter, but I found spring. Yay! So I only need winter to complete the collection of the seasonal quartet, whatever they're called. Yeah, I'm really excited to read these. I think I'm gonna start with autumn, this coming autumn, and then I'm gonna go, hopefully I'll have winter by then, so then I'll go autumn, winter, spring, summer, and be able to finish them all in a year. So that's just with that one. And then another Allie Smith book, not part of the seasonal quartet, Hotel World. And I saw this today at the Underground Book Gallery, and it just sounded really interesting, and it came out in 2001, which is, like, my favorite time period for books to be published. Like, 2010 and previous. That's my favorite time period, because literary fiction was banging back then. It's not as much banging now. Not always, anyways. Yeah. It's just about a whole bunch of different people and how their lives intersect in this hotel, which feels very New York, like the Chelsea Hotel, and how all of these people lived their own storylines in the same hotel, and so much famous stuff, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, that's my book haul. It's been such a good few days, honestly. Like, I feel like I've been able to breathe for the first time in like 5 months, which is so nice. And it's been so gloomy. And fall, yay! It's not fall, it's literally June, but a girl can dream. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Go to Bend, Oregon. It's one of my favorite places on planet Earth. So, yes.